Not all cities were as dependent on slaves as Pompeii and Herculaneum. Ostia was a working-class town, a major commercial city, and the principal seaport to Rome. Though it's silted up now, the river was once lined with ships laden with cargo. At its height, Ostia boasted many warehouses, like this one. It also had scores of shipping companies and a population that reached 100,000 people. Instead of the lavish townhouses we saw in Pompeii, most people lived in apartment buildings called insulae, which actually translates as islands. Tenants who lived on the upper floors got to their apartments by climbing these stairs. Insulae were made of brick-faced concrete and could hold a dozen or more families. No need for a health club if you lived here. We've clearly left the extravagant lifestyle behind, but these practical, well-built, and essentially fire-resistant buildings would have been affordable, and by the standards of the day, decent places to live. This bar on the ground floor of an apartment block had an excellent view of the street and offered a wide variety of wines for sale. Thank you. And remembering our practical Roman planners, there were public toilets located conveniently throughout the city with separate facilities for both men and women. And on that matter, at least, there must have been some equality between the sexes because archaeologists haven't been able to tell which room was which. I hope I'm in the right one.
Let me through. One side, please. So much for your vaunted water system.
What are you talking about?
There isn't any. Water from the mountains running to every house. I knew that idea wouldn't work for long.
You say Licinus cut off the water to all private houses? But why?
With the lack of rain, unless there are conservation measures, soon there will be a shortage. So those who require it may now purchase their water from the central reservoir. My servant will collect the money.
This is tyranny. He is bleeding us dry.
Well, Marcus, what do you say of your friend Licinus now?
Licinus is indeed a snake.
Gaius, you must tell Caesar Augustus. You supported him in the civil wars, and he is known to be loyal to those loyal to him.
I will write to Rome this very night.
Augustus receives many letters. You must go to Rome. And take with you a citizen to bear witness, so it will be clear this is no personal argument. Someone honest and without guile.
I know just the one.
It's a tremendous honor that Gaius Valerius has asked me to accompany him to Rome, but I cannot imagine being in the presence of the great emperor himself. Though a citizen of the empire, I had never been to Mother Rome herself. And nothing could have prepared me for the spectacle. We attended a chariot race at the Circus Maximus.
I knew you should have bet on the red team.
I have been to gladiatorial matches before, but none as thrilling as the one in Rome.
I knew you should have bet on the one with the trident.
The next day, we journeyed to the residence of Augustus atop the Palatine Hill. I was surprised by the modest scale of the Emperor's house.
Gaius Valerius, my loyal friend, and citizen Marcus Fabricius, you have acted with the public spirit befitting all true Romans. Go with our thanks, and next month, during our tour of inspection in Gaul, you shall have our decision.
It was the best possible news. The Emperor would address our problem when he came to Gaul. I know we will have a satisfactory outcome.
Your faith is reassuring, Master.
Stories came back to us that Caesar Augustus met with Licinus in Marseille.
And what have you to say to these charges, Licinus? There are rumors that monies collected in my name have not reached my treasury.
I have gathered this money purposely, great Caesar, to construct a temple on Vabonia's Forum, dedicated in your honor.
And so, for his good work, Licinus was promoted back to Rome as the emperor's official food taster to protect him from poisoning. Here, his formidable Epicurean skills can be devoted to the public good.
With the taxes removed, now perhaps we can run our lives and businesses in peace.
I hope my wife will like the linen I brought from Rome. That woman has such high standards. Rain and lightning from a cloudless sky? Look there. Blackbirds circling in the wrong direction. I don't like these portents. Let us get back to the villa. These woods are not safe at night.
They have insulted our home, our family, and the dignity of Rome.
These Celts will soon see they are no match for the power of Rome, not the Druids, nor all of Gaul.
Gaius Valerius was as good as his word. His measures were swift and harsh, not only against Druids, but against all the Gauls. Acobuvius was sent to labour in the quarries, an example to his countrymen. Now I see no hope of bringing our peoples back together.
By the spirit of Vercingetorix and all who have fallen for Gaul, we will be avenged. The mighty Augustus is coming to Livonia, but he will not leave. We will be avenged. We will be avenged!
This is the Plaza of the Corporations in Ostia, a long four-sided promenade built by the local shipping businesses for the pleasure and comfort of the citizenry. Those businesses imported wheat from Egypt, oil and wine from Spain, fish sauce from Portugal, iron ore from the mines of Gaul, and even wild animals from Africa. And in the mosaics which cover the pavement, we can see their corporate logos. Attracting regional and international trade was one of the prime reasons for establishing the city. But not the only one. They were also the centers of culture, and the people strolling this pleasant concourse were probably here during an intermission from one of the most popular spots in town, the theater. Romans loved spectator events, but only cities were large enough to build, support, and fill theaters. Like so much else, the Romans borrowed most of their dramatic themes from the Greeks, modifying them to suit their own tastes and sensibilities. They produced comedies, tragedies, musical reviews. They brought in acrobats, jugglers, pantomimes, and orators to lecture on honor, duty, country, and of course, the glory of being Roman. Virtually all communities had a theater, and some were quite large and impressive. This theater in Orange, France, could hold 10,000 people. It was a gift from Augustus, whose heroic statue still adorns the rear stage wall, decorated with elaborate marble columns. The theater was a popular form of entertainment, drawing many people from the city and the surrounding countryside. But the really big crowds came to the amphitheaters. This huge amphitheater is in Nîmes, not far from Orange. It could easily hold the 24,000 spectators who came here to watch the games. When you first entered the amphitheater, you started in this covered passageway, which rings the entire arena. You get to your seats through these barrel-vaulted tunnels. Some go up to the cheap seats, others go down to the box seats, closer to the action. Like a modern stadium, this is the area where you'd find the snack bars and public toilets. This barrel vault above me does two things. First of all, it creates a covered passageway, but second, it acts as an extended arch to support the tremendous weight above. An amphitheater is actually a circle of barrel vaults that narrow as they lead to the arena. These are connected to rings of passageways that allow movement around the entire structure. The system was so efficient that the whole place could be emptied in 15 minutes. Stone seats rested on top of these vaults, and along the back wall was a series of masts which were rigged to hold a massive canopy called a velarium.